Hi everybody, my name is Martin Hill. Hope everyone's well. Well, today I want to have a look at the agenda of the week in politics. It's been a quiet week in one way, but then in another way there's been loads of little bits happening. I want to kick off with the big issue of the week, the Calypso song by Mike Reid, the Ukip Calypso song. Look, what do I think about it? Well, it was a kind of average song. It was quite witty at times. Did I find that Mike Reid singing in a Calypso accent racist? Not one little bit. Did I find the words racist in any way? Not one little bit. Was it light and breezy and should have just been taken as a complete laugh? Of course it should. But I am glad it's been taken down, and Mike Reid asked it to be taken down, because if anything, I just thought Ukip didn't need it. We were going along really well, progressing, getting votes everywhere, gaining popularity, getting our message across. You know, we're in a serious way, but also with that lovely light touch that Ukip has. And then this song came along, and for me it was a distraction. And there was a chance it could trip us up somewhere along the way. So I'm really pleased it hopefully just goes out of the way, because we don't need it. We're better than that. We're better than having some stupid song. Not from any racist point of view, just because I don't want to get involved in that kind of stupidity. So that's that bit out of the way. And then we've had David Cameron, who is determined to do it for the British people. I'm going to go to the EU, I'm going to go to the EU, I'm going to do it for the UK. I'm going to look straight into the camera and do it for you. I'm going to get a special deal for you. Me, David Cameron, the very David Cameron that wants to stay in the EU and loves the EU. I love the EU. I love everything about it. I don't want to change a thing, but I'm going to go there and get a special deal just for you. This guy talks absolute nonsense. Does anyone believe him? We know it's a whole sham, it's a con, but again, it's great for Ukip, because everyone can see through him anyway. And then we've also this week had the opinion polls from Rochester and Strood, and it shows that Ukip have got a 13-point lead over the Conservatives, which is massive. I think it was 9 points, the last lead of 2-3 weeks ago, and now we're up to 13 points. That could well go to over 15 points. Even worst case scenario, if we lose 5% and it ends up being an 8-point victory, that would be beautiful. An 8-point victory I'll take every day of the week. And Cameron, let's get it right, is going to be in huge trouble. Huge trouble. After that, there's probably going to be more defections on the Conservative side and on the Labour side. And he is really in the mire. Okay, folks, another thing I want to do as well. A couple of weeks ago, I did think like a top 5 of people that gain votes for Ukip by default. They don't know they're doing it, but there's a lot at it at the moment, and I want to do that again. So number 5 this week is Ed Miliband. Now I think he was 4 last time, but he's 5 this time. But the interesting thing is, he's number 5. The number 5, the person that gets the most votes for Ukip by default, but we haven't seen him. He's disappeared. Have you seen him? I think they've obviously decided that you know, if we keep him out of the way, then you know, the Labour Party might pick up a bit. But he's still at number 5 with us. He's gaining loads of votes, even though we can't hear him or see him. And number 4 is David Cameron, just for being a con man. But still, as a con man, he's gaining loads of votes for us. Keep it up, David. Keep the sham, the whole facade up, because we love it, and you're getting people to us all the time. People are jumping ship all day, every day. And number 3 is the BBC presenter, the BBC daytime presenter. She does a political show in the middle of the day with Andrew Neil sometimes, called Jo Coburn. And she was interviewing Paul Nuttall in the middle of the week, Paul Nuttall, the Ukip guy. And just the mere fact, well, Jo Coburn stars, hates Ukip. Not only hates, she despises Ukip. You know, the way she talks to one Conservative and Liberal Democrat or a Labour person on the panel, it's a totally different tone. And then as soon as the Ukip person comes on, their nastiness, you can hear it in her voice. It's amazing, their bitterness and twistedness. And she was asking Paul Nuttall questions that how you'd speak to a 2 or 3-year-old child. I mean, it really was pathetic. But Jo Coburn gets loads of votes for Ukip. So keep it up, Jo. Keep being bitter, keep being twisted. We love it. At number 2 is Jackie Smith from the Labour Party. She used to be in the minister. She used to be in the cabinet in the Labour Party, and she gets at number 2 this week. She was on Sky News, and they were talking about the Calypso song. And she said, yeah, she thought Mike Reid singing in a Calypso accent is obviously, yes, obviously, to a Labour person, it's obviously racist because, you know, it doesn't seem like they've got a sense of humour. Or it's funny, I didn't hear many black people or, you know, Jamaicans or West Indian people complaining about the Calypso song. Did you? No, I heard a lot of white middle-class British people complaining about it, as is always the case. You know, it's bizarre. But Jackie Smith was saying she thought it was racist. So the guy next to her said, well, is it racist then if you sing in a French accent? If an English person sings in a French accent? And she said, yeah, as long as you don't sort of sing in too strong an accent. What is she talking about? I mean, it's absolute. I mean, can you sing in an Indian accent, in a Madagascan accent, in an Australian? Can you sing in an American accent? I mean, not many singers have ever sung in an American accent, have they? I mean, it is bizarre. What is she talking about? Please. But at number 1 this week, at number 1 is Evan Davis, who was presenting Newsnight on Tuesday night. And on the panel, well, they were talking again about the Calypso song. It's been the big news this week for the Calypso song. And Winston McKenzie from Ukip was on, and there was an Indian guy who was a radio presenter, had his own show, and he was saying it is racist, and Winston McKenzie was saying it wasn't, and Evan Davis was chairing the little chat. And Evan Davis had mentioned, obviously Evan Davis was on the side of the Indian guy, you know, he's on Newsnight, it's BBC, of course he's going to be on the side of the guy that's calling Ukip racist. It doesn't take much working out. And Winston McKenzie's trying his best, having a bit of fun, having a bit too much fun for me, Winston McKenzie. I think he needs to calm down a little bit sometimes. I'll come on to him later though, because he's a great guy. And Evan Davis, towards the end of the interview, just couldn't help. He was dying to get in with the racist stuff. And as it came towards the end of the interview, he said to Winston McKenzie, do you think some of your colleagues are racist in Ukip? And of course, Winston McKenzie didn't want to answer. So he asked him again, do you think some of your colleagues are racist in Ukip? Winston McKenzie by now is laughing. What else is he meant to do? What do you think? Does he think Winston McKenzie has got to his stage in life with all the knowledge he's gained and suddenly he's decided, you know, I've had a look at the Labour Party, I've had a look at the Conservative Party, I've had a look at the Lib Dems, the Greens, I've had a look right through the political spectrum, and I've decided to join a racist party, because as I'm a black man, I think if I join a racist party, it's going to really suit me down to the ground. What a stupid question. I mean, I thought Evan Davis had half a brain, and I really realise he has about a quarter of a half a brain, which is about, what, about an eighth of a brain. But if he looks back at that interview, asking Winston McKenzie, does he think his colleagues in Ukip are racist? Oh dear, some of the worst journalism and presenting I have ever heard. Anyway, I want to get to Winston McKenzie actually, because look, Winston McKenzie is a great guy. The sort of guy I'd love to spend time with. I've never met him myself, but he just comes over as a fun guy, intelligent guy, witty guy, charming guy, just the sort of person we want in Ukip. But sometimes when he's on TV, I notice he does get a bit excitable, and he just needs to be reined and trained a little bit. I don't like that word training, because you want people to still be their natural self, but I just think sometimes he just needs a little bit of training. But I was thinking about Winston McKenzie. What a great asset he is for Ukip. When you think about it, can you think of another person in all the other parties, in the Labour, Conservative, Lib Dem parties, that has probably got the knowledge of life, what it's really like out there, on the street, mixing with different classes, the different stratas of society? Winston used to be a boxing promoter, I think, and you can imagine he's seen it all, done it all, seen all the rough diamonds, seen all the different types. And there isn't another person in any of the other parties, probably with that kind of experience that Winston's got. So he can be a real asset to Ukip. Look at comparing to someone like Ian Duncan Smith Conservatives. Ian Duncan Smith just mixes with the 2% of society that he belongs to. He hasn't a clue what's happening in the rest of the world. He doesn't want to have a clue, he doesn't need to have a clue, and he hasn't a clue. Somebody like Winston McKenzie can give us that knowledge, so he's going to be a great asset for us. Okay folks, that's the end of this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and till next time, I'll say goodbye.